Also,
who won
Griffith
game
is not the most spectacular deck to see in action. Anyway, the other story I have is about Reborn Tango. I was at Nationals. It was last turn. It didn't really matter, but I was still playing. And I asked the judge if, because the card like came out a month earlier, something like that. I asked the judge and say if I reborn is Tengu and mind control is Tengu, and I send them to the graveyard to summon a synchro, do I get the Tengus from the deck? Of course not. But the judge says, yeah. So I proceed to Trishula him and summon to Tengu from the deck and OTK him. It was pretty sad. It was a really sad moment.
Sorry, I missed the answer to what I asked earlier. Who's up a game? Did anyone see?
Jazz one game more, right? Skully saw it, I think.
Do you guys know who won game one?
Oh, okay. I said Skully, and I was for sure. No, I didn't.
Kizaru said he thought Jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll know soon. We'll know as soon as they start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked Jazz right now anyway.
So that's why your name's KizaruTengu, because you always get an extra Tengu.
I wish. Definitely once. No, it was pretty random because my earlier nickname that I used on the forum was my surname plus gadget. The gadgets of like red, green, and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that name was bad. So I decided for Dueling Network to change it, and I picked my favorite character and the best card at the moment. and that's the name that came out. I think it sucks too. I don't like my nickname, but...
I hate mine, but I don't like changing it.
Like, I think the sick nicknames are like Jazz, MMF, those are sick nicknames. Okay, so Iwasbanned0ndn, which is also a sick nickname, is 1-0, winning 1-0.
Jazz is usually pretty confident in the Chaos matchup, so...
Yeah, but Chaos Turbo Game 1 is not that. In my opinion, it's not that easy.
Right, losing game 1 to Chaos Turbo's not...
Ooh, Jazz is
shocking.
playing the Abyss Warrior list.
Really? That's the third person we've seen running it.
Wow, I'm flattered.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the MMF was the innovator, but actually, in FLC1 there was a guy.
Yeah, Nate Hanso. He played it
Yeah.
in Turbo. He started all
Yeah,
this.
because he said that in Germany that's a really common thing to play Abyss Warrior in every deck, Abyss Soldiers in every deck.
I used it for a while, like maybe 2 years ago now, right when I first started playing Xarion list. That was my one of the first cards that
Yeah, tried to replace it.
I
with
switched. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better than the Light Monster. What's the 1700 one's name?
Ashura.
Yeah.
Alright, so Jazz proceeded to get a second. Like he managed to flip the merchant face down again, so he gained a pretty big advantage. And also, I don't really know what
That's
happened.
usually his go-to play against I mean, really anybody's, but you want to get your flip effects going against Chaos.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I don't really like about... That's the exact scenario that I hate about God format. The only one, actually. Where you insta-lose the game because you didn't have a monster to attack a flip. Or a knock.
Yeah, like if you there's a lot of times where you got to summon the Kochi and attack with the Chaos deck.
And it's a really feel bad moment. Okay, so Jazz as Charity-End decides to not fire it for in search of a serpent, probably.
It's good to hold Graceful just till you need an answer against Chaos too. Like you see the card that you now have to deal with.
What's MMF? Do you have the lists of Jazz and Iwasbanned0ndn?
He's getting some good cards off this merchant. Well, this is the second merchant now too.
Yeah, what did he get?
He got Torrential that time.
Okay.
Got Graceful the turn before.
Oh yeah.
Post your
Merchant
guest list in the in the channel.
Oh, okay.
Tango just messaged me that he had to step outside for a little bit, but that he's coming right back.
Alrighty, no problem. I think he's only got like one opponent left.
So what do you think that Iwasbanned has set right now? A Night Assailant?
I mean, me and MMF commentated the game where a guy had a real tendency of setting the Night Assailants before they could do anything.
I forget who that was, but they kept getting punished for like setting their Night Assailant and then drawing a combo card with it later.
Tribe. The monster I should always assume is set.
Yeah, I mean, that's the third time. That's the third time. Alright, so is this a BLS? Oh, it's probably game. Or something like that.
He didn't normal yet, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, if he has Serpent, it's game.
Oh,
Yep.
he has another ace.
Good enough.
Yeah. Right, so we saw why AB Soldier is good.
Yeah.
Premature.
Right
Premature plus Soldier is kind of stupid. So what I'm wondering right now is why setting the tribe instead of attacking over the merchant?
Beats me.
Probably a little bit if I probably have already lost this game.
Yeah. He did say my hand sucks, just beat me.
Okay, so I have a question. Do you feel that God format as a whole would be more interesting without BLS or not?
Yeah, less
I think
interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it'd be more boring. Honestly,
Yes.
I've never had a problem with BLS. Like, I think BLS sacked people more in Rabbit format than it does in Goat format.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I agree.
When they unbanned that, it was...
Then
people
in
went
general,
crazy.
I kind of just think most of the power cards in Go format are just not that broken. I don't know.
The only card I would...
Like a hipster. Or like
The only card I hate is Duo. The other ones I'm fine with. I'm fine with all of the other
I'm
cards.
fine with Duo. Like I dislike playing the custom lists that have no Duo and all the other Trinity.
I thought that I'd hated Duo when a few years ago when I started playing Goats again, and I've come around on it. I think it's like a perfect circle Goat format.
That's kind of how I view it now. Like, because Duo is so relevant, like so many other things are like, just all these moving pieces come together and make a really nice looking puzzle.
So I mean, I think Go format really is lightning in the bottle as far as here's the card that if I could ban one card in the format would be Trap Dust Shoot. I still hate it.
Yeah. And even like, I feel like I can think of a couple more like in the same vein as Dust Shoot.
Not that it's too good, it just ruins the
way
quality
it
of
makes the
gameplay.
games, yeah. Which is actually what it got banned for eventually too. Just like
Yeah, when it was
so
at
good early
one,
and so bad
like
late thing.
I remember there was a period of time where Dust Shoot was not even played. It was still limited. Like nobody played it. I remember it clearly.
During plant right before plant synchro.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. At some point,
It was
everybody
like a
could.
side deck card. It was in like you're thinking like 2009 into early 2010.
Right.
This was kind of the start of where like Dust Shoot people questioned like,
Yeah.
oh well maybe
You know,
this could just be a
confiscation was the same way in like 2006, 2000,
Right.
around that time period. People just didn't play it even.
Or like yeah, Jazz tells me that after the October list, people didn't play confiscation because they thought 1,000 points for a 1-for-1 was like not a good trade.
The Shonen Jump that Tango won, I think he was like one of the only players main decking confiscation.
That's perfect.
At one point during that tournament, he confiscated a gold,
Oh,
Oh, holy shit!
and he still won that
Was it
game.
like
But
intentionally like it was the best play?
in my opinion, Silva was more powerful when discarded from an opponent card's effect.
Yeah, but then it happens when you're top decking, and then you just like let it resolve and don't care.
Yeah, but when Dark World came out, and people were still playing as Ceruli, I think it's called.
I think Jazz has got this game in the bag.
It depends on the.
He could, I mean, he could have a nut hand, but like he's darkless, and there's no Dark Thunder Dragon that he can just discard.
Jar, Storm, Thunder, Sorcerer, Knight Assailant Book. Okay, so he's playing Jar in Chaos Turbo.
Yeah, that seems to be where people are headed. It seems so counterintuitive to me, but I mean, if everyone else is going to be playing sorcerer decks, like whatever, right?
I think you have to run it. There's just too many. You have to make up for all your possible brick hands.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but the problem is that a lot of your brick hands is Chaos Monsters that you're discarding to the graveyard.
Right, but I think there's just more games that you would have just lost if you don't run Morphing Jar. It depends on the build, though. Like,
I don't know.
it's definitely not. Chaos has not been perfected. Chaos Turbo, I don't think.
Turbo,
I think
yeah.
I think this deck needs Bell Baboon. It really needs Bell Baboon.
Man, I was asking some judges' rulings of telling them like Bail Baboon and the Gishki card. They're like, "What the fuck are you playing?"
Best format. TM.
Dude, we're gonna take over.
So he has in hand which cards left? Then he put back the Assailant, so he has
Jar,
Okay, yes.
Sorcerer, Book, Storm, 2 Thunder Dragon.
So now it's
and
basically
a new card.
fishing for charity and getting back into this game. Iwasbanned0ndn is playing Scapegoat and Meta by chance.
It's actually pretty good if you're playing Chaos and you side deck into more of a typical Goat deck. It actually gives you a pretty good edge because now your opponent has all these like cards they put in just to play against Chaos, and you can just grind them out a lot of times.
Right.
Yeah, also Thunder Dragon is I think it's underrated as a card in your hand. Like you can really get value out of it. For sacrificing a Terror for a Thunder Dragon is often a decent move.
Oh, it's quite a decent move a lot of the time. I can tell you that.
Dragon.
I think the other thing is just based on like the cards that people side out against Chaos. That like if you put in Air Knights, all of a sudden your Air Knights start getting their attacks through.
Yeah, they go a lot. Oh shit. Yeah, they go a lot farther. I noticed a similar thing with Air Knight and Mobius. How like a lot of things that people want against Air Knight decks are like kind of bad versus Mobius, and vice versa.
Mhm.
I think Mobius is a card that Chaos decks can use a lot in to similar ends.
I think it's a fine sideboard card against Chaos, actually. Like, it gets rid of Chaos Sorcerer.
Tango's 2-1 right now. He's running 2 Abyss and 2 Mobius in a goat deck.
I know, I love his deck so much. Oh my god. I want him to win. If one of my teammates doesn't win.
Like, Mobius is that card that I don't know if any of you had the same experience, but when it was underplayed and you get Mobius out of a game, such a feels bad. Like in some older formats.
I have a crazy Mobius story. It was at a regional, and this like really big dude was playing against this like average guy, and the average guy summons Mobius for game, or what would have been game, and then goes his opponent, the big guy, flips over, pulling the rug, and then the guy with Mobius goes, "I never said activate effect." Then the big guy got up and just punched him in the face.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you told me this story.
I'm gonna link a video in chat. I'll do this publicly so anyone hearing on the stream can watch this too. There's a local story at actually Iwasbanned0ndn knows the story too. He was there, I think. But there was like a really famous fight in our Yu-Gi-Oh scene that got posted on YouTube, kind of at the strike zone over something similar like that.
The first Yu-Gi-Oh fight I ever saw on video, it was on World Star, and it was something about elemental heroes and people like fighting outside of a store.
Have you seen the one of Jason Holloway's last appearance at Epic?
No.
Oh my god.
Jason Holloway, man, the master of time.
Yeah, the master of time. That's a nice way of putting it.
The best punch story I know about Yu-Gi-Oh is about the Blockman. Like
The rock monster?
Yeah, do you remember that card?
What are you playing, y'all's locals?
One second. So, a friend of mine trolled the 2 guys, which were not that smart, let's say. That Blockman just won a YCS. No, it was still Shonen Jumps back then. A Shonen Jumps tournament. A guy had Blockman in his deck, they said. So there was a kid with this Blockman, and both wanted it so hard.
To trade for it?
Yeah. They both wanted it because they heard that it was the best card that moment. So they literally wanted the card. So it kind of escalated pretty quickly into them punching out of the store. It was like they were like on the street.
Oh wow, Jazz had to attack into this Morphin jar. And it's not jar.
Oh, God.
Wow.
He attacked right too, so Iwasbanned is getting hella punished for this.
Oh, so also
No. Jazz is getting punished because Iwasbanned has heavy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right.
And that's a dark too. So wait, no, yes,
discard the sorceress.
Yeah. No.
Wow. That was a big turn. That was a good move set in that Suki.
Yeah.
He was probably just trying to bait the freaking knock too.
Wait, I thought Jazz attacked with the breaker.
No.
I was so sure that it was a jar that he attacked with Tetsuku. Yeah, that's a feels bad for Jazz.
Even after this heavy resolves, Jazz is still going to be like arguably up in cards.
Yeah, but this could be a heavy and a graceful charity. Total game changers can happen now.
Right, but you also need to consider that maybe heavy is a face down.
That'd be even worse. Jazz could have another dust shoot though.
Face down now, but
like if heavy is face down, and like Iwasbanned0ndn gets
Jazz is thinking.
6 cards to Jazz 3 cards, which is not bad, even if 2 are Thunder Dragons. Alright, okay. So he wants the...
If Jazz has Dust Tornado here.
Yeah, it was a face down heavy.
Okay, Tengu is back in case if you're waiting on him for anything.
Alrighty. You said he was 2-1?
He told me he has 2 wins, so I assume he's 2-1.
Okay. Either that or he hasn't played Ryuzaki yet.
Yeah, it was Ryuzaki, the Knight Assailant, sorry. Alright, so summons Jar, flips it down with Suku and gets rid of Breaker. So what is he hoping for is that Jazz doesn't have anything
Meta.
to do. Or meta, yeah.
What else went to great? Premature, doing nothing for me here.
I think he's gonna have the meta.
Yeah, wouldn't he have said that?
No, definitely not.
So he set almost a full back row, right? Preemie, Torrential, Goat.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had... I don't know.
He might actually try to let the jar resolve depending on how many he can set.
Oh yeah, no, I think he should let the jar resolve.
Go token and attack.
Okay, so I think this is in case it was a Book of Moon of the jar. No, sorry.
No, he was
Abyss Soldier gets...
he was trying to make sure if he had a book or a Saku.
If
Yeah,
Jazz
yeah,
has a
sorry.
duo here, it's so good.
I think he might side out duo.
Yeah,
Possibly,
probably.
yeah, actually.
Jazza is not a person that would maybe side out it.
Oh wait,
Because
no, he's gonna have another dust shoot, is what he is.
yeah, maybe you bring in Dust Shoots and you cut the duo.
I mean, his build might be a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing him play too, though.
I mean, the sideboard is almost identical, just
Yeah.
about the Abyss Soldiers. Everything seemed pretty standard. I wonder what is deciding the Abyss Soldiers against, like what's the exact plan of them.
I think he's maining them.
No, it's in the sideboard, actually.
Oh, you have the list?
Like the main is standard goats, and
Oh, okay.
yes, 2 Abyss Soldier in the sideboard.
That's a card I never saw anyone mess around with in 05.
Abyss Soldier?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you don't really understand how powerful the card is until you actually play against it or with it.
it wasn't even seen as very much of a hard staple in aggro decks from what I've seen. Whereas
Aggro
now-
decks were like completely different back then. Aggro decks were just like beast.
Mhm.
Nibble Mamanga and Monarchs.
I would say it was more of Berserk Gorillas, DD Assailants, and
Engraver
What's-
Battle Deluxe.
Enraged Battle Ox. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
so-
that's
For sure,
that's what
Berserk Gorilla and Enraged.
that's what Ryan won with the back-to-back ones that he won.
yeah, we have it.
So that's actually interesting to me. When Ryan won, that was considered aggro.
Yeah, I would say so.
He had like 1 goat and 1 meta. So like, was that
It
seen
was
like just a tech option?
Yeah, there was. I guess so. I mean, I think what happened was he kind of built his deck of just like changing cards that were already in the goat to make it more aggressive, and then ended up with those still in his deck.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I think the aggro card I think the aggro cards you consider to be more tech than you would the goats. Like that would have been more of the standard cards, and then he was teching in to be more aggressive. Because this was before the Suki change as well.
Right. Yeah. Wasn't that in effect?
The battle
like,
position
only for
change.
Jersey?
The battle position change was Jersey was that was and it was like that week that became in effect.
Yeah.
Wait, what's
like
the
a week
ruling?
before, and then they had
That
like
you-
4 days to get used to it, or something like that.
Right. The ruling change was that previously if you put your monster face down with Suki, you couldn't flip it up the same turn.
Oh, okay.
So because of that, like the Suki deck wasn't really like when that happened. Once they changed it, people started calling it Suki deck even.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because before that, everyone was just really running warriors and stuff and just attacking each other.
Before
Wow.
that, a lot of the decks would play like 1 goat 0 meta, or even 2 goat 0 meta,
And I don't think it's because that. I don't think it was because that meta like wasn't that good before that. I think it was less discovered, and then people were like, "Oh, you can flip twice in the same turn," and then all of a sudden everyone like caught on to it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, thousand dice. If you don't have a plan to really use it to win the game, I mean, it's not a bad card, but
No, it's still really good, even if you can't Suki lock.
Yeah, but it's not going to win you the game.
Yeah,
That's the
well,
point.
it's not going to win you a tournament, perhaps. And like people realize that, like with the full combo of like Tsukiyomi, Thousand Eyes,
Yeah, that's the combo that's going to win you the
that's gonna,
tournament.
like, carry you through like.
Yeah, I think it was just really undiscovered at the time because like even if you go back to play that, if you played that format now, I think if you made a Monarch deck with metas and stuff, you would like obliterate that format.
I
Yeah,
actually
probably.
think Soul Control optimized is the best deck in Wilson Loot Goat.
Am I lagging
nowhere
or-
near the experience required to claim this, but it feels true to me.
There was just a lot of monsters that like weren't floaters or anything at that point, like just warriors on the board. Like you're getting true pluses when you tribute those things off or suck them up with 1,000 eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Like DD Assailant, oh my god, that's such Monarch and Thousand Eyes fodder. Like
So what do you think? Can Iwasbanned turn this around right here?
He's gonna try.
Uh,
He's got a lot to fight through though.
Yeah,
I mean, Jazz already used his Torrential.
yeah. Also the ring, so he has a shot for sure. I mean, this is going to meet a Saku probably.
No, he leaves it up here. I think he wants Saku on.
He still hasn't played a meta.
You wouldn't Saku here.
Not yet, I don't think.
I mean, he has Tsuku in hand, but his opponent has 4 face down, so I don't think that Tsuku is ever going to go through.
He could have sided out Sakura too.
Well, he gets a torrential with those tornado. Right.
I think Jazz is in a pretty awkward spot right here.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of plays, but all of them are going to be a bit of a gamble.
I mean, it's pretty scary to go against 3 face down cards.
Yeah, it's like you got to assume one is probably another Book of Moon, which just like cripples a lot of your options.
It could. Is Iwasbanned0ndn playing Return from Different Dimension?
I don't think so.
Spell
Spell-
Oh
Shield,
god, that's a good card to dust, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
better than a chainable.
It might
I mean, just imagine Jet top decking the Pot of Greed and getting it spell shielded. Wouldn't be great.
When Spell Shield first came out and it said discard any card, even back in like 2004, that thing was in like every deck for like a few weeks.
Oh my god, I knew it. Oh my god, he dusted the spell shield and now his snatch goes through. This might be it. If he
That's. That's
you're right.
like
It's pretty big.
he won the. It's like a little more. No, it's an exact 50-50 or
It was 1 and 3.
Shit.
no, because he uses 2 dust tornadoes, so against
Oh,
4
yeah.
face downs. Well, just to not lose the game, that's kind of sad.
He's gonna gain 1,000 life though, maybe.
Man, that dust tornado.
That.
Yeah, that was
Both of them, 2
sick.
dust tornadoes together really turned it around.
Yeah, he must have like some information about those shields.
Well,
I don't
they've
know.
been trading dust shoots.
Oh,
back and
yeah,
forth,
or maybe he
so
was playing
the
just around Book of
first-
Moon and got. Yeah.
The later 2 for sure. The later 2 sets were definitely Jazz like probably knew they were gonna be there.
No, now that I'm thinking about it, it was just looking for Book of Moon.
Okay, he gives him 1 turn, goes up to 2,400 life.
Ring of Destruction is already gone.
Yeah. Oh, and his MST is gone too. Iwasbanned0ndn's is.
I also have his turn, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's not what he needed.
If he's playing Regeki Break, maybe.
Rip Serpent, Jazz, come on.
So what's if the face down is a Knight Ascent?
He might be able to survive.
I don't know. He could have Magician down and a real back row and still be in this game.
Right. But then he's got to resolve it through a bunch of shit that Jazz can do.
Okay, so he goes for the Ascension.
He needed that last turn so bad.
Oh, he has Nobleman too.
Okay, never mind. That's
Seal the deal.
Oh, he's playing Merchant in a Chaos Turbo deck?
I've been trying to get him to stop forever. He won't listen to me. Oh my god, I can't believe Jazz pulled that out.
Yeah, that 50-50 was what this game came down to.
Good showing from Jazz.
Yeah, he came back from attacking into that Tsukiyomi heavy play, and
I feel like this match was a bit of a textbook of this matchup. Goat versus Turbo.
I think so. I think Jazz would say so for sure.